Okay, today we're working on lesson 4.1. It is about translations. This is a vector over here. The initial point or the starting point is point P. And the terminal point or the ending point is point Q. We name the vector PQ. And if you can't see it, it's got like a little half arrow thing that goes over it. Doesn't go the full arrow because that would be a ray. The horizontal component of vector PQ is 5. In other words, it's telling us we're moving 5 units to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the vertical component is 3. We went 3 units up. So the component form of the vector combines the horizontal and the vertical components, and so it's written like this. Now, they're not really kind of parentheses. They're kind of these little arrow things, because if it was parentheses, it would be your X and Y axis. It would be your coordinate points. So it's not. It's kind of written like that. So let's go look at some more translation stuff. This over here, we would name this one vector JK. Let me scoot it in some, so excuse my, there it goes. We name this vector JK. Our initial point is J, and our terminal point is K. And then they're telling us to get from J to K, how many are we going over? We're going over 1, 2, 3. So we went 3 units to the right, and we went up 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we went up 4 units. So we would write that as the component form right there, as 3, 4. I'm making it lighter, maybe it's easier to see. Okay, so transformations is a function that the definition says moves or changes a figure in some way to produce a new figure called an image. I want you to think of transformation. You're just kind of sliding. Transformation is just a general term. I was thinking translation, and that's what we're working with. We're working with the translation. And translation, I want you to think of translation, taking that SL right there as a slide. You're going to be sliding a figure some direction. You're sliding it on the graph some direction. The first image we have is going to be called the pre-image. That's what we're going to have. The one that we slide, we're going to call the image. And I'm going to show you this better here on the other side. So right here on our example, it says translate the figure using the vector -6, 8, and give the coordinates of the new points. Okay, here is our figure that we're going to be translating. This one right here is called the pre-image. It is the one that we're using first. It is our pre-image. The next one, when we slide it, is going to end up being our image. So they tell us that we want to move -6, 8. So that tells me from this point A, I'm going to go which way? Since it's a -6, and that's working with my x-axis, we're going to go left 6. And this 8, since it's a positive 8, is telling us that we're going to go up 8. So if we take it from this point A, and we're going to count and go over, and I'm going to zoom in just a little bit so you can see, we're going to count and go over to the left 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we're going to go up 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This would be our new A. And we would call that A prime. We're going to call that A prime, and they've already listed. Prime is just adding the little mark after the A, but it's called A prime. So this is going to be my A prime. And let's go do the same thing for the B, the E, the D, and the C. I'm not going to count each one of them for y'all because I know y'all don't want to hear me count 6 to 8 to 6 to 8. So I'm going to go do that quickly. Okay, so now we have our new shape. What do we call the shape? This shape's going to be called the image. The other one was the pre-image. It was the one we were using first. And this shape, after we slide it, is called our image. And then they want us to find the coordinates. So then all you're going to do is go over and count your coordinates. So in other words, count your coordinates. For your B, it's going to be -4, 0. For our C, it's going to be 2, 0. And you'll go get the points for your A, your E, and your D. You should know how to go ahead and count the points, but I'll go ahead and get them for you real quick. So now you would have all the A prime, B prime, C prime, D prime, and E prime from sliding your pre-image over and making the image. From sliding it over using this vector, just like they said. I'm going to scoot this out some so we can see it some more. Okay, so right here we have two triangles, and it says writing the rule of translation. Triangle A is our pre-image. It's what we're starting with. And we're going to triangle A prime, B prime, C prime. That's going to be our image. That's where we're sliding to. So my first triangle, I'm going to go ahead and just highlight it in yellow. This is my pre-image. And over there is where we are sliding it to. So if I go over here and count from this A to that A, which way am I going? I am going left, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we would go up 1. So we went to the left, 4, and up 1. This direction is always on our x-axis. So, and since we're going to the left, we're saying that we are subtracting 4. So you can say x -4, and since we're going up, that's using our y-axis, so it'd be saying y plus 1. That is our rule of translation and how they would write it. So over here, they have graphed this quadrilateral already, and I'm just going to go ahead and highlight our image so you can see the first one. And it is getting, they want us to translate it. If it is a +3, it's going to the right 3. And since it's a -1, it is going down 1. So we would do that from our A. We would go to the right 1, 2, 3, and down 1. That's where they got the A prime. That's where they're getting their new shape for A prime, B prime, B prime, C prime, D prime, and making that slide. Now, the easy way to do this is, if you already know your coordinates for your A, B, C, and D, for your pre-image, this is saying +3, isn't it? So over here with my x coordinate, I'm going to do what with all the x coordinates? This is a -1, so I'm doing a -1 plus 3. What would that give us? That would give us 2. That's where we're coming up with the 2 in our A prime. And since our y is saying -1, over here with my y coordinate, I would go ahead and say 2 minus 1, which would give me 1. And that's how we could come up with the A prime coordinates without having to go and count it over there. Let's go do another last example. We're going to graph the quadrilateral ACD. With the vertices, we're going to A is 1, -2. That's my A. And my B is 2, 1. B. C is going to be 4, 1. And D is going to be 4, negative 2. Okay, there we have our pre-image. It is our pre-image. And it tells us this is where we want to translate it. We want it the x to be -1 and our y is to be +4. We already have our coordinates up there. So for our A, and think of them as just like your x and y, is 1 minus 2. What am I going to do? It tells us right here, x. We're going to subtract 1. So for our A' should be 1 minus 1 would give us 0. And over here for our y, we're going to add 4. So a negative 2 plus 4 is going to be 2. So my new coordinate for A' would be 0, 2. Now we have our B, same thing. That is what they gave us, but we're going to go ahead and subtract 1 from our x and get a 1. And we're going to then add 4 to our y and get a 5. Our C is 4, 1. If we subtract 1 from the x, we will get 3. And we are going to add 4 to that one and get 5 for our C prime. And last, from our D, if we subtract 1 from the 4, we're going to get 3. And if we add 4 to this 2, we should get 2. So let's go and plot our new image. That's going to make our A prime. B prime. C prime. And D prime when we go and connect it. And it shows where we were sliding our pre-image to make our image. Translations are just a slide. I know your teacher's going to go over more with you, but I hope this makes it helpful. And just in case I had it out of the screen, there it is right there. Thank you.